And here's where we get you all the news on business. I'm Abigail Adumakoenchi. Now, the Finance Ministry has successfully completed the first phase of the Ghana Integrated Financial Management Information System, Giftmas, and is ready to take off with the second phase of the project. Finance Minister Sektekwe, at a meeting with officials of the World Bank in Accra, indicated that Giftmas II will focus on improving the accounting element of ministries, departments, and agencies' expenditure. The meeting between the World Bank and the Finance Ministry was to take stock of Giftmas I and strategize to ensure a smooth takeoff of the second phase in 2015. According to the Finance Ministry, Giftmas II will focus on public financial management systems. The ministry says the second part of the project will ensure more transparency and accountability in the public sector following the success of Giftmas I.
In 2012, we started using the Giftmas accounting system to process all government expenditures. As we speak now, a lot of almost all the governments, ministries, departments, and agencies, MDAs, not MMDAs, and some MMDAs actually use, the Giftmas to process their accounting records. In the 2015 budget, which is before Parliament now, which has changed to program-based budgeting, we are using the Giftmas budget system to pilot the estimates that the committees of Parliament, will be using. But along the line, we have also started the Human Resource Management System under the Public Services Commission. So that is another, major achievement of the Giftmas.
He also explained the ministry is looking at clearly differentiating HR and public systems to address payroll challenges.
In Ghana, we have tended to confuse the public accounting and HR systems. So what we are doing is to make that clean, separation, so that we have the Public Services Commission and the other services to put a system in place for HR. Because when a teacher is not paid, when the health worker is not paid, when somebody is promoted, or when somebody is on study leave, which is what we sometimes call ghost names, or somebody's name is inserted, or somebody retires, but the name is not removed. It's often because you don't have a very, robust human resource management system. We are moving to put that in place. And when we do that, then we can provide the information that is needed to the controller.
The World Bank has meanwhile commended Ghana for a successful implementation of the Giftmas I and has further pledged to support government. Away from Giftmas to the oil sector, which have the prices falling. Well, energy expert with the African Energy Consortium, Kwame Jantua, says Ghanaians are not likely to benefit from the falling oil prices, as it will not result in any changes in prices at the 4 stations. Well, he stated that until Ghana refines its own oil, global fall in prices will not reflect on the local market. Kwame Jantua wants government to take a critical look at the special petroleum tax should global oil prices continue to fall. The global price of oil, which was hovering around $100 to $90 per barrel 2 months ago, is now selling between $70 and $60 a barrel. For many, this global development should reflect in the prices at the local pumps, but energy expert Kwame Jantua explains that it is far-fetched.
At the present moment, we have TOR, but TOR is not producing. If TOR were producing our own oil, then probably we would be able to cushion it. What is now happening is that we have the BDCs who bring in refined petroleum products. Refined petroleum products are got from what? They are got from crude oil. So definitely, if the price of crude oil drops, the refineries can buy at a very low price, and they can pass that low price on to those who are importing. That is how we get the advantage. But at the present moment, where this is concerned in Ghana today, we are not lowering prices that much. We're not lowering prices that much because of the debt that has been accrued, where the BDCs are concerned in MPA. So government, from what I've heard from MPA, they're trying as much as possible to mop up in terms of the debts with this lull in low prices. And now they have also put on 17.5% on refined petroleum products. So we are not going to have any benefit from the drop in oil prices.
Although oil importers are likely to benefit from the fall in price, it could, on the other hand, contribute to economic deflation.
A lot of the revenue we got last year, it was 32.26% of petroleum revenue that was invested in the economy. If oil prices continue to drop, then we can lose that. A lot of the oil revenue that came in was invested in major projects. Some of the money went to Ghana Gas. Some of the money went into roads. Some of the money went into capacity building. Some of the money went into agriculture. Now, if there's a drop in oil prices, definitely the oil companies would want to make sure that they are not getting into a loss situation. So they could cut production, or they can stop production. And once you stop production, the taxes that government gets is also going to be cut.
Meanwhile, the current prices of about $60 per barrel have been described globally as the lowest in 5 years, and oil giants have begun to scale back their drilling ambitions and cut back on their workers. Abigail Adumakunchi for Joy News. Civil societies in West Africa are calling for more engagements amongst themselves to help address the challenges various governments in the sub-region face in fulfilling the sub-region's development agenda. For them, although most African countries will not meet the Millennium Development Goals in 2015, a more coordinated and harmonized effort of CSOs could aid governments to meet the post-2015 and ECOWAS 2020 development agenda. CSOs at the maiden West Africa Civil Society Conference under the West Africa Civil Society Institute, WASI, and the West African Civil Society Forum, WASOF, was to deliberate on the ECOWAS Vision 2020 and the post-2015 development agenda. They will interrogate the role of CSOs in making the development agenda real in the lives of West Africans. For WASI, there is the need for more engagements between CSOs to help chart the course of development within the sub-region.
So there are a number of civil society organizations that are working on maternal health. Some of them are working on issues related to poverty, generally looking at women's empowerment, looking at the education of the children. So there are different civil society organizations doing different things in our different countries. It's important, though, for us to look at coordination, which I mentioned in my speech, and harmonizing our efforts. Because sometimes there are many doing different things in little corners, and there's a need to look at the coordination. And that's why working through WASOF is also a good idea, and I believe that we should do a lot more looking at coordination.
On the part of WASOF, ensuring sub-regional peace and security is key in development.
We believe that, the issue of peace and security is so paramount that we must make sure that we mainstream it into the development agenda of both ECOWAS and the post-2015 development agenda, because if there's no peace and security, there can never be any meaningful development in the region. And you could see that there are a lot of conflicts going on in our region, and therefore we need to make sure that civil society are brought in, to play the role of at least helping to, sensitize the general public, in the West Africa, to ensure that we have attained peace and security in our region.
The West Africa Civil Society Conference will be held annually to promote regional engagements among CSOs. That does it for business. I'm Abigail Adumakunchi. Please don't go away.
Business News.